many of you remember that old game, Connect the Dots? Do you remember? Remember that paper game where when you looked at it the first time, it really looked like just a jumble of dots, right? Really didn't have any pattern to it until you began to work through it, you know, in sequence, dot, 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 and your pencil would begin to eventually, voila, reveal a beautiful picture. Well, I want to share with you tonight why it is I believe life is kind of like that. In fact, what happens is when we're over here at the beginning and we're looking toward this vast, beautiful, clean slate of the life that we want to lead, we really kind of yearn for a really clear picture of exactly which way we should go, right? In fact, we wish instead of Connect the Dots, it was more like a jigsaw puzzle that came with one of those pictures that we could just copy as we went down. But you know what? Life doesn't dish it up that way. So what I want to share with you tonight is I want to share with you why I think life is a lot like that Connect the Dots game by telling you just a little bit about what I think those dots represent. And also to provide maybe a formula, a couple of suggestions for how it is we can more easily and smoothly move from dot to dot. So let me start with what I think the dots represent. The first thing I think the dots represent is they represent those milestones in our lives. You know, those moments when we look back to the fact that we had a fork in the road. Those moments when we had to make a decision. Were we going to go right or were we going to go left? Are we going to stay in college or are we going to start our career? Are we going to stay in this relationship or not? Are we going to take that job or are we not going to take that job? All of those present dots that we take or don't take while we're creating the image of our life. Well, here's where it gets a little tricky. In order for us to move from this dot to this dot or make those decisions, it requires change. Now I gotta ask you, I mean, if we're really honest with ourselves, how many of you absolutely love those big milestone changes in your life? I mean, oh, come on, okay. You know what, it's about, research says about 80% of us struggle with it, about 20% embrace it a little bit more, and even out of that 20, probably less than 10% really want to go for it, kind of James Bondish jumping into the fray with making changes. So it gets a little complicated if 80% of us get uncomfortable when we have to move from this dot to that dot. So I want to share with you just a couple of things that I would suggest we could do to help make that transition or to move past the resistance towards change. But before I share with you those, let me tell you one more thing I think these dots represent. This is what makes it complicated. Not only do they represent, in some cases, those directions or those milestones, but I believe they represent our zone of comfort. That place where we like to go and we kind of snuggle in and we've gotten settled in there. So, thinking about that with their dots, let me give you just a couple of suggestions. Number one, in order for us to make that transition more smooth, the first thing we have to do is see beyond that comfort zone. Now, a friend of mine is a life coach. Her name is Beth Monpas, and one of the things she says is the reason we get stopped up here sometimes in our comfort zone is when we're deep in it, we can't even see beyond. We can't even notice where the edge is. So my first suggestion is that we just find where the edge of that comfort zone is and begin to approach that. Now here's the deal. Coming to the edge of anything is really scary, isn't it? In fact, we went out to the Grand Canyon. Has anybody else been out to the Grand Canyon? Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? Okay, so we went with my sister-in-law, Beth, and it's not that she has issues with heights or anything. She has issues with edges. You know what I mean? Every single time any one of us, including her, got anywhere close to an edge, she literally started to panic. Anybody have that reaction? I mean, literally, legs wobbly, jelly legged, all kinds of issues. And what was interesting was she couldn't help it. It's just how strongly she felt about that. It's scary when we step out onto the edge. So it's no wonder we have that kind of reaction when we're stepping out on the edge. What's interesting is Darren Hardy, I don't know if you've ever heard of him, he publishes Success Magazine. He's a speaker and an author. And he says, truly, we should get comfortable being uncomfortable. And then you may ask, well, why? I mean, what's the big deal? I mean, you know, it's kind of snuggly back in here in our comfort zone. Why don't we just stay there? Isn't that okay? Well, let me give you a couple of reasons why that's not okay. We want to create this big, beautiful life of ours. Well, first off, the view from the middle of your comfort zone stinks. It's so marred up with the way it's always been that it's very difficult, in fact, almost impossible for even see where the edge is, yet alone to see the beauty that goes beyond. So it's important that we don't stay there. But there's also something else, and that is there's risk if we stay in our comfort zone too long. So I'm just curious, when you hear that there's risk in staying in your comfort zone, what do you think that risk may be?
Everything else is changing.
Everything else is changing. Any other things that we risk when we stand still too long in our comfort zone?
Stagnation.
Opportunity, stagnation, mediocrity, right? Missing. What's that?
You come on something.
Wow.
Especially if everyone else around you is moving out of their comfort zone and moving on to the next dot. So it can be very dangerous for us to stay, risky for us to stay too still. Which leads me to the next thing. Not only do we need to move toward the edge and really see what's out there, but we then need to push past that and move on to the next dot. Now, that pushing past really is where the fear lies. In fact, I don't know if you've heard Eleanor Roosevelt's quote about this. She says, every day you and I should do something that scares us. So my question to you is, when's the last time you did something that really scared you? I mean, really was outside, that you felt yourself pushing on that comfort zone. Well, if it's been a while, let me give you a suggestion. Here's what I would do, and I actually did recently. Look at the areas of your life, and what I'm talking about is like career, relationships, faith, health and exercise, maybe your home environment, different areas of your life. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to identify one of the ones that you feel deeply comfy and ensconced in your comfort zone, okay? And then, this week, here's my challenge. I want you to step out of that. Move, push that boundary out to try one new thing. And I'll give you an example of what I did. So, my area that I'm kind of in that comfort zone is health and wellness. Anybody else? That way? Okay, so here's the deal. I give a lot of lip service to it. I talk about I want to be healthy, all that kind of stuff. But truly, I haven't done much about it until recently. And I realized if I'm going to really push past that, I've got to do something drastically different. So, of course, it's the same two things, right? What you eat, what you move. So I began to find a little food plan that I felt like I comfortably can keep. And then just 2 days ago, I stepped out, put money where my mouth was, and joined the gym. Not been yet, but I'm going tomorrow. I'm going tomorrow. I'm going to go Friday. It's on my calendar. I'm ready to go. It's scary to do something new, but we can see sometimes when we move into that scary zone, it isn't just to make it more comfortable here versus here. What it really is to push out so far that not only do we succeed, but we actually, are you ready? Fail. In fact, you and I need to push past that comfort zone so far that we get into what's called a failure zone. And the example of that is when people work out. So when they're exercising, bodybuilders don't just go a certain number of reps or 1 or 2 more. They actually keep going until they can't go anymore. They hit fatigue, they hit failure. What that represents to you and I is the edge of our immediate and current capability. It's only there where you and I are going to grow. But I get it, it's scary. It's hard to know when we're sitting here looking at sort of the mass of dots on the ground which way we should go. It's sometimes scary to step out of it because it can get like chaotic. So there was this little boy. He was watching his mom who was sitting on the couch, with he's on the ground, he's sitting on the couch, and she's working on a cross-stitch project. So she's working on that. Now he's on the ground and all he sees is as he's looking up what's going on underneath the project that she's working on. And from underneath, it looks pretty bad. It's gnarled and tangled and kind of chaotic with all of those threads hanging down. And he was really confused. So I said, Mom, what are you doing? Well, it wasn't until she invited him up on her lap. that suddenly he got this amazing perspective. From that vantage point, he was able to see the colors. He was able to notice all of the patterns that all of that sort of chaos and tangle underneath began to reveal. Well, I really think life's like that. We start out over here, looking ahead to the life that we want to create, yearning for clarity on that, but truly, it isn't until we take the time, the effort, the sort of painstaking moment to move from dot to dot. Only when we do that do we get the opportunity and the perspective to actually look back and to be able to see sort of the tapestry of what we created. So what I want to challenge all of us to do is to keep pushing ourselves, keep moving out of that comfort zone, keep stretching, grinding, moving along, so that one day when we get a chance to look back on all those dots and connect them together, that we see how it reveals, albeit maybe chaotic and a little tangled sometimes, that messy, big, beautiful life.